Hello and welcome from beautiful Cabo San Lucas. Look how beautiful it is outside. I'm staying at the Thompson Hotel, which is just killer. Their just hospitality is amazing. If you're watching this on YouTube, obviously, hello. So pretty outside. If you listen to my podcast, you can go see my pictures on my Instagram. So sadly, I have to record this from my hotel room inside because I tried to do this yesterday and it was literally so hot outside. My phone burst into flames after 5 minutes. So here you go. You get my messy bedroom instead. But thank you so much for joining me. So we've been here since Thanksgiving. So I spent Thanksgiving in Cabo, and it really, I always ask for inspiration for these podcasts to come from all areas. And I had a very triggering event. And so obviously holidays are really triggering if you've lost anyone. Holidays are also very triggering, like say you've lost a job or whenever you got divorced or, whatever bad news that you've received, those dates are triggering, and then holidays are because that person or whatever you're missing is gone from your life during that time, right? So you're gonna have triggers, and holidays seem to always be them. For me, I lost my dad December 13th. So for me, I remember distinctly my house was decorated for Christmas, right? So Christmas decorations just in and of themselves, kind of just don't always make me feel the best in life, right? And holidays too. I was lucky I never really spent Thanksgiving with my dad, but Christmas I did. So Christmas is always hard. And so I just wanted to talk about like triggering events. So obviously holidays are really big triggering events, but we're gonna come across really small ones, and that's kind of where I'm gonna pick up, because I had a super triggering event and I didn't even really realize that it was gonna happen. And that's what that is, like that's what those triggers are. They're these little things that you never even knew were gonna happen or how you were gonna feel, and you're gonna encounter them and be like, what the F? So I'll do a little background. So I was dating a guy when my dad passed away, and when I got the call, my dad died out of the blue. I saw him the day before and he was fine, and I got that call, early in the morning. Why it's always got to be at 5 a.m., I don't know. And so I got that call, and I was dating a guy at the time. He was at my house, and so he was there when I got the call. And I never really, after my dad passed away, he was there for me, but I obviously couldn't be someone's girlfriend or date someone. I had just experienced a tremendous amount of trauma, and I also knew that I didn't want to. I knew I couldn't show up for that person, and it's not fair. So I guess I should do another episode on just really owning up on your shit and how much you can give to people, and not just using them for what they can provide you, but what you can give to them as well. And I just knew I couldn't show up for him. And I had to do so much healing and changing, just even with my not partying anymore and getting sober and just working through everything I had experienced with my dad and loss and family and, the whole gamut of what death brings is just the monsters come out, right? And people don't get it until they go through it, and then you're like, oh yeah, I get it. But even if I was to listen to this podcast before my dad passed away, I'd be like, what is this girl even talking about? Whatever, she should just get over her life. So anyways, I hung out with him again, and it's going to be my dad's anniversary of 2 years. And so I hung out with him, and I didn't realize it would happen, but it was extremely triggering. It reminded me of all the things I felt that morning. And I lost my shit. So, and that's the best way to explain it. It literally took me back to that, literally back in time, of that wave of feelings and that wave of just feeling like you're being suffocated by your feelings. And I always say what we're in control of is our thoughts, feelings, and actions, right? And the more mindful we get and the more we have a mind-body connection and we work out and all those things, we get more control over it. And we realize that they aren't these huge things. So I'm very grateful that I meditate. And if you haven't started meditating, definitely do that and start working out and just connecting your mind to your thoughts and your body to your thoughts, because we have a lot of control over it. And this is, so even though I felt such overwhelming just emotions and just, it brought up all the things. I'm really blessed that I do so much inner work because I was able to pinpoint the exact thing that it was triggering me, right? I could have thrown out this whole thing as like, it's just that guy. That guy is a trigger. I avoid him and I live a happy life. But that's not true, because that trigger is still always going to be there. It doesn't matter who ignites it. It still exists. So that's what I'm getting at with being proactive about connecting my thoughts and my feelings and all those things, because I figured out the triggering response was the regret that it took 45 minutes for me to get ready and go to the hospital when the hospital was literally 10 minutes away from me. That was the triggering thought. And so how I got there though was, yes, I'm mindful and all that, but I also had a full schedule of clients that day. And obviously I can't take anyone. So these are my steps of how you get through your trip when you have these explosive responses, of how to work through them and healthily be okay. So the first step was, okay, I'm fucking freaking out. I don't know why, because when they hit you, it's like a fucking tidal wave. And I don't know why I feel this way, but I know I'm freaking out and I have my whole day ahead of me and I can't let this get in the way of my whole day. There's the news flash, because you can't do shit and show up for other people if you're freaking out and crying in your car. So let's put that lie aside. So the first step is call people, talk to them, talk through it, get through it, because that's the only way you can work through anything. So I went to the gym and I called up 2 people that know about what I've experienced and just been there for me. And I go, hey, are you here? I need a hug today. Just being really transparent about the things what you need. And they ended up weren't there, but they were able to talk me through it. And they were like, the amount of what you feel is because you love that person. And so still I'm freaking out, because now I'm thinking in the back of my head, I got all these clients I got to do. It's before Thanksgiving and they want their hair done. I got to do this stuff. I got to fucking pull this shit together, right? And I'm not, because the more I'm thinking about them, the more I'm fucking panicking and the more I'm like hyperventilating and I'm crying. And so I ended up going, okay, I can't do this. I can't. There's no because sometimes that does help. I do work out and I'm able to, all that anxiety and whatever, I can get it out, physically release it. But sometimes you're so in it and there's so much, you're like, I can't go to the gym right now. I'm literally hyperventilating, ugly crying. Like, there's no way. People are going to look at me like I'm a freak, right? And they might actually be kind of scared of you. I mean, let's be real. When you're in that mode of crying, where it's like I call it like the thunderstorm cry, people are like, oh, there's some really heavy stuff going on right now. And they don't know how to show up for you. And so that's why you got to reach out and go, this is what I need. Sometimes you have to go, I don't know what I need. Can you help me walk through, and ask, can you help me figure out what I need? So first off, talk to people, have a trusted group of people that you can talk to and communicate with, and be really transparent and vulnerable with them and go, this is what's going on. I don't know what's happening. I need help. Second, I called all my clients because that added layer of anxiety I couldn't deal with. All my clients have been very transparent with about my life and what I'm going through. That's the second thing. And people want to go, oh no, you can't do that. You got to show up and be professional. Well, if you're a fucking whack job and no one understands why you're being a whack job, you're probably not going to be very successful at business in the first place. Second, you're a human being. The more vulnerable you can be with another human being, the more safe they feel with you. Just an FYI, your business will flourish with you being fucking honest and transparent and saying, hey, I am so sorry I let you down today, but this is what's going on. I want to be able to show up 100% for you, and I can't do that right now. Is it okay if I reschedule you? who's going to say no to that? So stop living in this fear that the people are going to leave you. And if someone does say no to you for that, fuck them. Do you really want that person in your life at all? Their money doesn't matter. Money is everywhere. Bottom line, it's abundant. You'll find more. You don't need that one client. And if you have a job or a boss that doesn't even allow you that grace, fuck them too. You can get a better job. You shouldn't be working there. So being transparent and open and direct and honest, and that's what people respect. And I've never run into someone that's like, oh my God, she's such a flake. People get it. You don't pull it all the time. Because if you're doing all the inner work, meditating, working out, you're not pulling this shit all the time. You might have to cancel on people maybe 3 times a year. 5, I wouldn't do more than 3 though, really. But that's why you do all this work. That's why you listen to these podcasts, because they at least give you some tools in your tool belt. So when you have these moments, you can show up. You can show up for those feelings, so you don't have to deal with this. Because if you push this shit aside, if it's freaking you out that I canceled on my clients one time, you better believe if I didn't do that and I didn't show up for my feelings, I'd be canceling on my clients all the time, or I'd have no clients, because they'd be like, what is going on with this girl? She is crazy and she doesn't even know it. So be honest, release all those priorities and those plans and those things that are like, I don't have time to deal with this. You need to make time to deal with your feelings if you're this trigger response. Second, so then I talk through it, and then I figure out what my trigger response was. My trigger response was that I was going through the what if land. What if I had gone to the hospital earlier? Why didn't I do that? I disappointed myself. And you know what? I can't answer any of those questions, and neither can you, and we can't go back in time. And that's where you just have to give yourself grace and go, you know what, God, like, I am really grateful that this worked out how it did, because ultimately it was the perfect way. Who knows what I would have experienced if I shown up 20 minutes earlier. I just know that I'm grateful for the time that I had. And so I was able to now see this huge thing that felt so overwhelming, and it just felt like this mess of feelings and all this stuff, and narrow it down to, this is why I'm really upset. It's not that guy. It's because I feel guilty, and I was carrying around this shame that I didn't get to the hospital early enough. That was it. So I felt that, and then I was still crying, because obviously you're not gonna be like, okay, aha moment, maybe you are, and then I just went in the shower, and I just really focused on the things that I can be grateful for and I have tangibly around me right now in this moment. And it happened to be bath soap that I love the smell of. And I just went, thank you. Thank you for this bath soap. This bath soap smells great. And focusing on really being present in the moment of the things that I love, that are right here, right now. Moving my body, thank you. Meditating, thank you. Doing all those things that we set ourselves up for being healthy 365 days a year. Why? Because you're gonna have the 364 day that is shitty. So now you have all these tools in your tool belt that you can use as a resource to make you stronger. Meditating. I meditated. Sometimes it's just eating a donut. I love donuts. So I had a friend bring me sidecar donuts, and I love them. So I ate a donut. Actually, I ate 3, which my personal trainer will probably be mad at me about, but I ate 3. And sometimes, and that's not probably really that great either, so maybe don't eat 3, but just focusing on those things of being present and being like, I enjoy this, doing those things. Obviously, if it's like drugs or alcohol, 100% steer away from those, because those will bring you into a further pit, and that's not where you need to go. Those will numb you. Anything that's numbing you from feeling, I just imagine that feelings are like an ocean. So you have this like ocean, there's all these little waves, and then there's a tidal wave, right? That's your tidal wave. Or there's a huge wave, maybe not a tidal wave, but there's a huge wave, and you can either surf the wave or you can just go underneath it, but those waves are gonna keep coming, right? So if you're numbing yourself with drugs and alcohol, those waves are just gonna keep coming, versus you getting on a surfboard and surfing it in. I'd rather get on a fucking surfboard, ride the wave, and get over it than just keep numbing myself out and waiting for the next fucking tidal wave, because there's always going to be another wave. But it's how resilient you are to get over that wave of emotion and whatever is triggering you, and understanding what is triggering you and the why. And then once you get the why, it's all easy. So obviously it took me a long time and a lot of inner work, and I work on this shit every fucking day. And I work on friendships that I can be transparent with and say, hey, I can't show up for you. Or this is what's going on. Like, can you help me work through it? And also knowing that you're going to have to be that for someone else one day, where you can just listen to them and maybe just ask them questions so they can work through their stuff, because you have to pay this forward too in this life. We don't live on an island. We all are experiencing this world together, and we should make it better. So those are just some of the things. So have a good group of friends to talk to. Work out. Have a daily routine where you can work out, get some of this energy and anxiety and whatever out of you, and then you'll feel stronger, because you'll physically be growing stronger as you're emotionally growing stronger, because you can do a lot harder things than you can ever think of and imagine. And once you feel that confidence, you can just get more and more confident. Meditating, so you can quiet your mind and really hear and feel things. Being open and honest and transparent with people and saying, hey, this is what's going on. Let's talk through it. And with that, giving other people grace. I give my clients grace when they're like, hey, I can't show up to the appointment because I baby mama drama or whatever, or I'm going through a hard divorce. I go, okay, I get it. I understand, because I've been there too. Because what we give and what we put out, we receive. That energy you put out, you receive back, So, and wherever you're at, like, this is just such a small moment, and you're so much stronger than you ever could think of, because I am a living example of it, and I believe in you. If no one else believes that you can overcome whatever you're going through, I believe you can. No matter what, I know you can. It's not even that I believe you can. I know it. I know you can overcome anything. Whatever shit's going on right now, you can overcome it. 100%. But talk to it. Talk through it. Fucking feel it. Work through it. Do something. And that's the other thing. You have to be active about this. Healing is active. It's an active decision. I want to heal. I want to be healthy. It's an action. And so when you have the triggering response, think of it as like, this is opportunity to fucking grow. Let's do this. Don't let it overcome you. You don't have to. You don't have to be a fucking victim to this. You can survive it. You can go, okay, I see you, I feel you, I hear you. We're gonna go through this. Because I did that moment won't be a fucking trigger for me anymore. I won't be triggered anymore. But the fact that I didn't wake up early enough, or I didn't leave my house early enough, and I'm carrying around this shame and guilt that I didn't make it to the hospital in time. I'm okay. I'm giving myself grace. I've overcome it. I'm not going to be triggered by that response anymore, by that situation anymore, because I worked through it. If I hadn't done all these things, 100% I guarantee I'd be fucking triggered by that again. But no, I see it, I feel it, I hear it. We're good. So whatever is going on with this holiday season, you may have triggering responses, and they're okay. Don't shove them aside. Feel them, see them, do what you need. Talk through it. Sometimes it's, even for me, like, I'm in Cabo right now. I'm out of my element. I know I'm going to go back home to my Christmas decorations. And during that triggering response, I looked around my house and I looked at those Christmas decorations. And last year I didn't decorate because I was in Bali, so I didn't need to. And this year I was like, okay, I think I can do this. And I can get through the boxes, and I'm going to look. And I was looking around when I was having that triggering moment. I went, all this shit makes me want to throw up. I don't want to look at it. I was going to take it all down. I was like, nope. All of these things are our items. They have no feelings. They have no thoughts. They have nothing. I am putting those onto them. They're not doing that to me. So when I get home, I will see Christmas decorations. And I will know that they don't have fucking power over me. But I wouldn't be able to do that if I hadn't have done all this work. And just given myself grace to feel. So, with that being said, you are resilient, you are powerful. You can do hard fucking things, and you can succeed at doing hard things. You can overcome them, I promise. So, during this holiday season, give yourself grace, give your family grace. We all need more grace. Just see people, know that they're trying their best, believe that they are, and love them where they're at. And just be kind to yourself, and be kind to each other. Because all we have is right now. We only have this time, and we have control over how we feel about this time. I want to live my life to the fullest, because the people we lost, I hope they were able to live their life to their fullest. But we don't know. So live it to the best of your ability. Be as kind as you can. Be as loving. Be as generous. And give as much grace as physically possible. And know that you can do whatever hard things that are in front of you. And you can overcome that. You can ride that wave. You do not have to be a victim of it. So if you guys love this, I do this because when my dad died, there was no resources. There was nothing available. Everything was so weird. Like, this is your new normal. And it just felt like, fuck this. This feels terrible. If this is my new normal, I don't want this. This feels awful right now. So this is not your new normal. But you're going to rise up and you're going to be this fucking champion. And that's what's amazing. Because in this moment, you get to be so much stronger. That's the coolest part about this whole journey of life. You get to be better. I want to leave this world a better place. So yeah, if you get anything from this, share it with a friend. Have such a happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas. Wherever you're at, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, all of the holidays. And just, I believe in you. And if no one told you this today, I love you, and you can do hard things. Have a great day.